Okay, so NowHow. It comes from the Japanese ichigo ichie. So it's how do we use this moment? And this is actually something that is very important in Japanese culture in East Asia. First of all, I would like to offer thanks, as I always do at the beginning and the end of a NowHow. I'd like to thank Shizuka for the icons you're going to see. I'd like to thank Jasmine for the portraits you're going to see. And now is actually a very difficult thing for us humans to think about, because we're always thinking about past nows, we're thinking about future nows, we're thinking in the imagination. Now is a very, very difficult thing for us to think about, but in East Asia, and particularly in Japan, they've come up with some really good solutions. What we're looking for is action. And this is the key action when you are engaging with somebody else. You are thinking about the other person. It's a mind for the other. I use that phrase in English, which avoids this verb in the middle, in the red. This is omo in Japanese. It's actually quite difficult to put that into English. And I'd like to look a little bit more at how this has been analyzed in East Asia according to my interpretation. You start with a tree. Now, this tree is just symbolic of anything that is an object that's observable in your environment. You want to look at that tree for signs of value. What you want to see is, can that tree be beneficial for me in any way? And so you start to look at that tree not only with your eyes, but with your whole imagination, using your hands, your eyes, your ears. You might be listening to the birds in the trees. You might be drinking from the leaves or something. You can use all of your senses to appreciate what it is that you're looking at here. So your eye engages with the tree and you try to discern value. So we're talking about perceived value, and this is what we always do as human beings. Our heart moves towards perceived value. Once your heart moves towards perceived value, then you are in a position to walk along a path to a destination. And that's what we're talking about this evening, is what path are we going to walk along now with Tohoku to the future? And the point I'm making is that East Asia has the solutions already, because this is the design of now and how we engage with it. Take a few seconds. I'm not going to say anything here. Just look at those images. So simple. And they come together in East Asian culture in the form of a kanji. This kanji. And this kanji is the starting point for moving along a path to a new destination. The key is the heart. When our heart moves towards perceived value, a path forms, and then the challenge is, how do we walk along this path? One more interesting point is that the character for path is actually a head in motion. So you can just imagine using all of your senses, observing what's going on around you. That is a path. I found a path in regional Japan. I went to regional Japan because I saw value there. I think that everybody in this room would find value in regional Japan if you came there with me. So I went out there as a foreign consultant, and the first thing I asked the people there, thinking of a mind for the other, is, okay, so who don't you trust, first of all? Number 3, foreigners. Number 2, consultants. Number 1, anybody from the government. Okay, this is not a scientific survey, but those were the results. And so I said, okay, so who do you trust? And they said, we trust family. We trust friends. Number 3, foreigners. And I thought, okay, we're in a gray zone. We can work with that. So are we trusted or are we not trusted? Let's go there and try to use this ambiguous nature of foreigners to do something for the community. And so I started going out there with people like Neil and others. Here's Neil. And we started getting snow off the roof of grandmothers' houses and so on. And we started thinking together with the people in the community, so how can we benefit your community? You help us, we'll help you, we'll think together about this. And so what Neil came up with, as a result of our activities there last year, was this product, maple water. Now they make maple syrup in this one community in Japan. They now are the only community, as far as I know, that makes maple water, thanks to Neil. So if you bring in this diversity of viewpoints from other cultures, from other cities, and you help them at their level, thinking of them as equals, walking through the community with them, they'll come up with great ideas. They'd already come up with the idea of doburoku, which is basically illegal hooch. Next year, we're going out there to make illegal hooch with them, because they actually have a license for it. So we're going to go out there, we'll plant the rice, we'll harvest the rice, and at Christmas we'll get our doburoku nouveau. So that's the product for this Christmas, is doburoku nouveau from the Yamagata countryside. The challenge is English. We need English to communicate with the grannies. So I'm going to take employees of big Japanese companies out there. They're going to learn English. They're going to run the whole program. They're going to use English for that purpose, to communicate with us, to communicate with the grannies, and move us towards new value for the local community. So we need to nail English in a new way. And to do that, we're going to replace this sensei out front with a sensei beside you. So we, in a sense, are sensei, but they are also sensei. We're walking together through the community, using our senses, trying to identify new value, trying to move in the direction of a better future. This all is important in regional Japan because regional Japan is collapsing. Miyoko, she will break your heart and she will put it back together in 5 seconds. She is such a wonderful person. But there are wonderful people like her, 50,000, 100,000, maybe a million, all over Japan. They all have unique stories, and those stories contain value if you surround them with enough diversity. That's what we're trying to do out in Yamagata. If you feel that your heart is somewhat damaged, you can go out there and they will repair it, because this is part of Japanese tradition as well. Kintsugi, repairing broken vessels. You can go out there and get yourself repaired. I can guarantee it, it's happened to me. I lost my heart to that community out there in Yamagata, and they repaired it for me. So the first step is to go to Meiji Jingu with me next week, Thursday, 7 o'clock in the morning. We're gathering at the big torii behind Harajuku Station. We will go for a workshop. This is what I've been doing for the last few months. People like it, and it's valuable. We walk a new path together to a better future, thinking about Tohoku, thinking about Japan. Let's get the value of regional Japan out to the world, because the world will benefit from what we find out there in regional Japan. Everybody, please join me, and thank you.